most common and minimum would be an alignment. Normally, you hit a pothole, it can stress out the suspension and cause the front end to go out of alignment. Sometimes you might be able to catch it by the way the car tracks. If it has a tendency to pull to the left or right, it requires to get lined up. When they go have them lined up, they might be able to pick up the section of the suspension that might have been bent or twisted. And other than that, wheels hold up pretty good. Tires, sometimes you can hit potholes, and a couple days later, all of a sudden the car starts to shake or you get a thumping noise. That would be the belts and the tires that would then, because of pressure and time later on, can sometimes separate and then cause a vibration in the car or on a highway or shaking to that effect. Worst case scenario is you hit something so hard that the car is not drivable. That is an unfortunate incident. There's almost nothing you can do. Sometimes you just can't avoid it. If you see a suggestion, if you see an area of a street where there's a lot of potholes, try to straddle it. Or if you see a big one, get it in the middle of between the two tires. Or actually, the first thing to do is slow down and roll through it if you have to hit it, as opposed to hitting it at a higher rate of speed. Just common sense says they're going to do more damage. Well, you have, there are tire pressure sensors that if you can damage the tire or whatever, and it can slowly leak out air pressure, you'll see those sensors go on. Other than that, unless there's major suspension damage, you're not going to affect a speed sensor or anything to that effect. The most common sensor that would possibly get damaged if the wheel got damaged would be the tire pressure sensor.
And how busy have you been fixing cars due to potholes?
Pretty steady, like a norm for New England, okay? A day doesn't go by where somebody complains about a shaking or a vibration or something to that effect. In most cases, our customers have been blessed where it have not been severe, where they're calling me and it's coming in with a wrecker. That hasn't occurred, but in most cases, you hit a pothole, you will be doing damage to the vehicle. No, other than, like I say, people just gotta slow down. If you see the potholes, slow down. Roll through the potholes. If you're stuck with no other choice but to hit it, common sense says don't hit it at 35, 40 miles an hour, okay? Try to avoid it. If you slow down, you're able to avoid the big ones and maybe roll through the small ones, okay? Rainy days cover potholes. If you see a suspicious puddle in a road where it's in the middle of the road and the road is pitched, there should not be any water sitting in the middle of the road because it's pitched and crowned. So if you see a puddle, that's not a puddle. Okay, that's a pothole, and she's full of water, and the depth of it, you can't tell. From this point on, it'll be probably the severest until like usually end of April, middle of April, will be the severest because you got it cold at night, it rains, it freezes. Then during the day, cars travel over it and break this stuff all free. I don't think the states or the cities do hot patches yet for another couple of weeks probably. Usually not until like April. Okay, so yeah.
And then how much money do these repairs cost? I know it's all different.
The minimum is going to be $100 to get a car four-wheel lined up, usually if it's all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. Depending on the suspension damage, I've seen it. If you damage some of these alloy wheels, okay, that you see now, they can cost anywhere from $150 to $300, $400, $500 just for the wheel, besides the $100 and some odd dollars for the time. I mean, the minimum you're looking at $100 probably, and you can go up to $1,000 even, depending on how severe a damage you do.